fan has asked the big questions. Where is the Master Sword? How do you beat Dark Link? But today I'm asking the real questions. Where is the best place to trick-or-treat in the entire Legend of Zelda franchise? I'm talking like, candy density, the spooky vibes. If you can actually get home without a re-dead getting both eyes. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be going through each game and talking about places where a child could get candy and attempt to maximize the treats we get getting one night at trick-or-treat. Also, we'll be looking at other criteria like the best house. We're looking for someone wealthy who also likes kids enough to hand out treats. Sans may have a palace now, but I don't see him handing out any Twilight Taffy. And while the main house is important, I think multiple houses should also be considered. More candy? It's always better. But there's one more thing we gotta consider about a neighborhood, and that's, is the neighborhood even safe? Goron rock candy don't mean a thing if I'm dead. However, a slightly counterintuitive thing is you gotta give points for spooky. If it can be creepy without killing me, well then it's perfect for the Halloween spirit. Also, side note, we're looking at this from the aspect of a Hylian child. Not Link, not me, like maybe one of the killer bees or bombers or... I'd name a girl right here, but this franchise ain't exactly Bechdel test friendly. One of the princesses? Now, another thing we gotta consider is the game state, and for this, all I can say is, I'm just gonna go with what my save file is currently in. So, with all that said, let's comb through the Legend of Zelda franchise to find the perfect place to go trick-or-treat. Zelda 1 loses a lot of points right off the bat for safety. I'm pretty sure I could kill a Tactite, maybe avoid shots from an Octorok, but Moblins? Darknuts Lionels? Yeah, no, I'm toast in 1986's Hyrule. My best guess on where I could go trick-or-treating would be the old man who gives you a sword. Not candy, but still extremely cool. However, you remember how I said we'll be going with the state that my save file is in? Well, if we boot up the Switch, it has Zelda 1, but all the secrets are revealed. And this right here, it gave me my perfect trick-or-treat route. We start one to the side and there's a woman with potions. She'd give out a piece of candy, right? Then you go to the left, you go up, you avoid these Octorocks, and boom, cave right there. It's one of the bearded dudes, he might give some candy, but even if he doesn't, you go to the left, you go down, lady in cave talking about graveyards. That's kind of creepy, and she might give you candy. Then you go up, right, and this, right here. This is perfect. We got a bokoblin that's giving out literal money. He is living the trick-or-treat life better than anyone in Hyrule. Go up another square, and the merchant has actual food. Go to the right, and you go down those stairs, and boom. We got another It's a Secret to Everyone moblin. After you talk to him, you go back up those stairs, and we got a safe place to eat any candy we got. And on the route I just plotted, the worst thing that we faced were Octorocks, which I maintain I could probably survive Octorocks. Now Zelda 2. Okay, this one was pretty easy. I just went to every town, counted the houses. Okay, well, every town before the Road Devil. If you go past him, you're not coming back. You're dead. And we got two choices. The harbor town of Mido. Most of the towns in this game had 6 or 7 houses. One had 9, but Mido has 12. Super easy to get here, and I don't think you even need to leave the road. However, there is another choice. Now this one actually kind of dangerous to get to. I'm not 100% sure I could do it, but if you can make it to the mountain town of Darunia, 14 houses. And if we're looking for that spooky factor, there's a dude that can turn into a bat, a literal vampire. As long as he doesn't steal my candy, I'm good with it. Yeah, a nip here, a bite there, but I don't mind because there's one reason that Zelda 2 could probably win this whole competition. The healing ladies. Yep, in Zelda 2, you can always get some candy.
That's candy with an I, by the way.
Alright, so I don't feel like my knowledge of Link to the Past is too deep. I beat all the temples in Ganon, but the choice is Kakariko Village, right? I went ahead and counted all the houses. 8. But most of them were empty, but the ones that had villagers, I'd like to think are the candy-given type. But, just to be fair, let's check out the Dark World. Oh, okay, yeah, monsters would kill me before I could get my mitts on anything sugary. And not only that, but most of the houses are destroyed. Link to the Past's best trick-or-treat place is Kakariko Village, Light World variant. Okay, so I haven't really interacted with this game. Is there a Koholint Village? I don't know. We're not even gonna count this game because it's the spoilers. In 3, 2, 1. Link dates a seagull in this game. So in Ocarina of Time, there are a lot of good choices. Your first thought might be Hyrule Market, but that is like an entirely mercantile district. I found 3 things that could qualify as houses, but 2 don't seem to open. So for my places, I think we should jump over to the adult timeline. Now, we need to stay as far away from possible from Hyrule Market. Those re-deads are at the bottom of my list of ways to die. Also, there are houses in Kokiri Forest, but I'm not going to Kokiri Forest, alright? I ain't turning into a tree like Link's German mother. The Goron City would suck too. Not too many houses, they don't even have doors to knock on, and even if they did give you candy, it would be rock candy, and I'm not talking about crystallized sugar. You'll chip your tooth, not to mention son of a Hylian whore! But we can go to Kakariko Village, which has 1 more house built in the adult timeline. 7 houses. 8 if you're willing to be a little adventurous. However, a lot of them are stores, but they still might give you candy. I'm not too sure about the windmill hunt though. Yeah, bro is pretty cranky. And I don't know if the Skulltula brothers are even gonna come to the door. But all that said, this is a good little town. But there are 2 other places to consider. First off, Lon Lon Ranch. In my file, I got Epona, and I guess the Phantom Thieves must have visited Mementos because Inigo has a total change of heart. I bet he'd be willing to spare some Lon Lon milk on Halloween. And for my final pick, the Ghost Guy. Now, I would not ever mess with Hyrule Market, but as a test of courage, I would cross the bridge and open this first door where I'd meet the Ghost Guy. This place is safe, but also extremely creepy, which is perfect. Also, I like the cut of this guy's jib. I think if I agreed to drink it right then and there, he'd give me a poke. It has the chance to hurt or do a lot of healing, and that's a risk that I'd be willing to take. I would drink a poke. Okay, I don't have Majora's Mask, but I know that Clocktown is the pick, right? Well, I went through and I counted 12 houses. That's less than Zelda 2, but West Clocktown is set up nicely for trick-or-treating. Also worth considering, this game does great in the costume department. But one thing that this game does have is a very good, very creepy ornament. Okay, remember how you need to stay alive to eat your candy? Actually, Termina very handily loses this challenge. Now on to the GameCube, which obviously means the Wii U. We have 3 possible contenders for Wind Waker. Well, 2. I thought that the retail would come through, but there's only like 3 rooms. One of them's a post office. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting no airheads from the airheads. Which leaves 2 islands, which are significantly more competitive than I thought they would be. First, let's go to Outset Island. Nice, islandy atmosphere. Everybody knows your name. Each house is occupied. Granted, I visited it at night, and most mentioned that there are monsters here, but they're only choo-choos. Are you really gonna let choo-choos ruin the one night of the year you get free candy? There are 7 houses here, and one of them belongs to Link's grandmother. I don't know if the old bat would be giving out soup on Halloween night, but if she does, oh mama! The other choice is Windfall Island. Small town community, lots of kids, but only 6 houses. 7 if you include the bomb shop, 8 if you include the prison, 9 if you include Beetle. But I'm inclined to include Beetle. He seems like he would enjoy decorating for Halloween, maybe give out Hanoi pears or something. But there are 3 good houses on this island. Salvador, he's got good costume, and he runs a game that's targeted at kids. The Rich Guy. Now, he is a bit of a jerk with his newfound wealth, but he loves his daughter. He'd give out candy because she'd be socially ostracized all of November if he didn't. He's got an opulent house, you know he's giving out full-sized bars. And finally, Mrs. Marie. School teacher. She likes kids, and she's wealthy enough to own and then just give away a bungalow for necklaces. She's giving out good stuff on Halloween. She just is. So between the 2, the competition is stiff. You get consistent good stuff from Windfall, But if there's an opportunity to get the most powerful healing item in the Legend of Zelda franchise, I'd have to spend my chilly October night on Outset Island. Alright, Twilight Princess. Okay, so the entire game is just great Halloween atmosphere. 15 points to Scrufflepuffle, you know? But, where are we gonna go here? Let's start off by eliminating the fantasy races. The Zoras don't have homes. Seriously, where do you guys sleep? The Gorons just stand outside or inside all day long. One dark horse competitor, though, would be Yeto and Yetta. You get to snowboard down to a mansion and then warm up with some superb soup. Granted, that's not really a great Halloween thing. That's more like a winter vacation type deal. I got an idea. As for the human settlements, we got two choices. The first, it's Castletown. But I went through and I only saw 15 doors. Maybe 16? Is this a door? I wouldn't be able to knock on it. But 15, that's barely more than Zelda 2. But Castletown might work because I bet that Bug Princess Agatha could give out some good candy because she is loaded. But, you know, she might very well give out this. Slimy, yet absolutely not happening. The other great choice is Ordon. Once again, it's that nice everybody knows your name vibe, that their main produce is pumpkins, so you know there are going to be jack-o'-lanterns around. And I haven't really pointed it out throughout the video, but we don't know how much sugar is actually in Hyrule. But in Ordon Village, they got bees. You can literally get some honey treats. You just come over here and you grab some bee larvae. Link, what the? Ew! You saw a downed beehive and you scooped around the honey to grab the babies? No. Between Ordon's bee larva and Agatha and Castletown, I'm probably not escaping Twilight Hyrule without eating one of those things.
No. There is no way I'm eating a bug.
Alright, now for Skyward Sword. I'm pretty sure there's no debate, right? It's Skyloft. It'll be an evening activity. I went out at night because I know there's supposed to be this guy who is scary, but he's also nice. He gives off that spooky but safe atmosphere. But yeah, there's also bats and slime monsters and pissed off cats. Who's a cute little guy who wants to scratch my face off? So I counted 11 different houses, but I think a couple of them are either stables or storage, so I don't know. I think the bazaar would definitely be decorated to the nines, and the shop owners would put on like a trunk or treat type deal, you know, curry favor with the parents. I think that Skyloft would be an alright place. Although I did spend like 15 minutes looking for the Goddess Tower until Pippin told me that it's gone on my file, so yeah. Breath of the Wild, there are a lot of towns here. I checked all the obvious ones, but let's start off with the 3 easy disqualifications. Zoras. I couldn't even find anything that I would consider a dwelling. No tricks. But I did find a treat. Rito, there were 9, I don't know, nests? I don't know if they have anything that I would really knock on, but besides, what would they even have? Bird seeds? And the Gorons only have 5 buildings, all of them shops. However, the market has, honest to Hylia, sugar. No other entries have straight up sugar. And let's not forget the true meaning of Halloween. But even if I was purely looking for sugar, I wouldn't choose the Gorons, because if I wanted to dress up like, say, a sexy witch for Halloween, I would burst into flames.
Abracadabra.
Which leaves us with 3 choices. Well, maybe 4. There's Terrytown. Maybe. I don't know what that is. I've never even seen Terry. The only reason that I know that there's a place called Terrytown is because the track list has a song. Good song, but it's not really in the running. Gerudo City. You will never find a more vile hive of scum and misandry. We must be cautious. Honestly, to even gain entry to this place, I would be forced to dress in my sexy witch costume. But there are 4 houses, and only one of them even has a door, and I didn't know the password. One of the houses, though, is Queen Ruigi, and being a child herself, would probably hand out some good candy. Or at least fruit. The main way that you're gonna get candy from this town is going to the bazaar. Lots of fruit stands. There are 8 stores. This could be promising, but probably not my choice. That'd be one of these other two. Kakariko Village. Okay, great environment. They got kids. It always feels like fall. This is a great one. I only counted 10 houses, but everyone is so nice and they got milk. I mean, and it's not even Halloween, and this guy gave me a pumpkin. Now, I don't think that anyone would have a show-stopping piece of candy, but the vibes of Kakariko is just sublime. However, there is another. Heito, Heman, Gaiman, I don't know, this place. Okay, so Huge Town, this would be a great place on a fall night. I counted 17 houses, not including the windmill. 17. That's more than Castletown. Nice houses. It would be a bit of a walk up to Purr's, but she'd probably give out some weird experimental candy. But 17 houses. Well, maybe 16. This dude is demolishing one, so no candy from here. But Huge Town. This would make for a great hollowed out ween. It's a toss-up between here and Kakariko. You know what? I might be giving up the densest packing of houses, but the dude gave me a pumpkin. That's the spooky fruit. If Kakariko actually has access to jack-o'-lanterns, it's gotta be the winner, right? Actually, side tangent, why have the last 3 games I've looked at had pumpkins growing? They must really want me to choose them. Whatever, Kakariko wins. Maybe if Hatno had Hot Purra instead, but... Oh, you know what? Speaking of, that is a great transition to... Tears of the Kingdom! And unfortunately, the place where Hot Mommy Purra lives is not suitable for trick-or-treating. It's a base camp. However, I found Terrytown. Was it in the first one? See, that's the problem with this game and this section of the video.
They're the same picture.
I mean, I found a new town, but it's been burned down by pirates. Hyrule Square is absolutely in shambles. Honestly, it comes down to Kakariko and Hatno again. And I swear that my count came to 15 this time. Purr is gone and there's mushrooms everywhere. Okay, you know what, switcheroo. Breath of the Wild's pick is now 16 to 17 houses Hatno, and Tataka is Kakariko. Nearly identical, still has pumpkins, and just look at that apple. It's golden. Echoes of Wisdom has an obvious choice, but I went to the less obvious ones first just in case they were good, like Gerudo Village. It has 8 doors, houses. I wouldn't really be able to knock on these houses. So then I checked Southern Village. Wow, okay, 4 houses. And one of the denizens is currently drowning, and this game ain't about him. I thought Deku Scrubland might be good because of the cotton candy and the smoothies, but there's no houses, just little scrub dudes giving into their based instincts and just sipping back smoothies. But I do think that a smoothie from Echoes of Wisdom would be divine. Golden egg, Mumbo milk, it'd be like a custard or creme, it'd just be amazing. But ultimately, the winner's gotta be Hyrule Castle. I counted 9 homes, happy, kind people, and then the castle. At first I thought maybe I wouldn't include the castle. I certainly wouldn't count it in other games because Link tends to get a rather hostile greeting. And I thought it might be the same here and they're only nice to you because you play as Zelda. But this line right here, the king came into town the other day. He was so friendly, M-, walking around to greet us all. Yeah. Hyrule Castle is giving candy out, and we're talking full-size bars at least. Yeah, they sell actual food here. All we need is a smoothie shop set up, and this is one of the best places in the whole franchise. Okay, so after scrubbing through most of the games and considering all the factors and all of the sugars, my number 1 pick for Halloween night in Hyrule is Ocarina of Time. So as soon as I get home from school, I'd throw on my Keaton mask and I would head over to the graveyard. Very spooky. Then I'd make my way through the town. I'd try all the houses. Windmill Man might not help out, but I'd try. Then I'd stay as far away as I can from the well. There is way too much Halloween down there. I'd even go and try the Skulltula brothers. They are bragging about how rich they are. And if I can just look into that house, it would be very spooky. I don't know how much I'd get from Kakariko, but after that, I would head over to Lon Lon Ranch, side hopping the whole way there, and I earnestly believe Inigo, or at least Malon, would hook me up with some milk. After that, it's getting late. I'd head over to Hyrule Castle. The sun would probably set for me, and for some reason, it is safer in the adult timeline. As a child, skeletons attack you. Anyway, I'd get to the down drawbridge. I'd steel my nerves, and I'd cross the bridge, and hope that the guy would give me a ghost. I have so much faith that he would give me one if I promised to drink it right then and there. It would either be amazing or repulsive. And even if it does damage me, I can just down the Lon milk right there. Yeah, we got spooks, we got sweets. Ocarina is my #1 pick for where I would trick or treat if given the chance to spend one Halloween evening in Hyrule. So, there's the video. I know that there are handheld games, but I haven't played them. So I'll let you tell me if those would be better for a, sugar-filled jaunt through Hyrule, but better than Ocarina. I know that you can get, 2 out of 3 goddesses' houses in Bird Cap. I bet Din has some really spicy candies to give out, but I don't know. You'll have to tell me. If you liked this video, leave a like and comment and then the video will get spread out more. If this video does good numbers, I'll make a follow-up. Other holidays, other franchises. It was actually surprisingly fun to go through all the Zelda games, but holding up a lens, looking through it differently. Anyway, you have a great day, and don't get eaten by a goblin. Abracadabra!